Just getting right to it, man. What an amazing event by Turkey Al Sheik, Eddie Hearn. If you guys didn't catch the events a few nights ago, man, you missed a good one for sure. It was out in Riyadh season, Saudi Arabia. Big time boxing, man. Major card, part of the Riyadh season um, boxing showcase. Great things happening with boxing, man. We had four world titles up for grabs. This is what boxing's been needing. Hands down, these guys are bringing the fights that everybody wants to see. You know, long gone are the days where we had to wait for one, two good fights. A decent undercard here or there. Like this was a good card altogether. Awesome night. I want to just go over a couple of the fights, man. I want to start off with the co-main event: David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde. They scrapped for the WBC light heavyweight title, and from the beginning, man, David Benavidez showed exactly why they call him the monster. Just relentless pressure. Anthony Yarde had no answer. Just didn't have enough firepower to keep up with Benavidez. Tried to hang in there early, but I don't even think he won a single round the whole night. David Benavidez ends up taking it by TKO in 7 rounds. Man, I mean, again, light work for the Mexican monster. I'm looking forward to those future fights, man. Maybe with Bivol. Would love to see that fight. A couple other prospects. I think Zurdo was also mentioned as a possible fight at cruiserweight, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, man, great showing by David Benavidez. Yard takes a loss in this um, very dominating fight. I mean, he got dominated. Simple as that. Benavidez dominated him throughout the entire fight with pressure, breaking him down right before closing with the heavy flurry, and the referee had no choice but to step in. After that, there was another co-main event, very highly anticipated fight between Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. Devin came into this fight with a lot to prove, man. A lot of doubters after taking that loss to Ryan Garcia. Technically, doesn't show as a loss on his record, but everybody saw that. Everybody saw what happened, and it's just hard to erase that. Um, you know, had a fight before, taking this Norman Jr. fight where he just didn't look himself. Won the fight, very lackluster, and had a lot of questions going into the scrap. Brian Norman Jr. on the other hand was coming off arguably knockout of the year against the Sasaki kid out of Japan. Granted, not a lot of people knew about him, but apparently, this guy was a pretty big deal over there. And he just made light work of that guy. Devastating hook to knock him out. Brian Norman came into this fight with a lot of hype behind him. I mean, he had a he had out of this world aura. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, coming from that knockout, talking the way he was talking, things like "I'm gonna kill you," and you have a fight with a torn meniscus and all this extra stuff he was going on about during the face-offs. I mean, a lot of people were writing Devin Haney off on this one, and rightfully so. It's been a lot of questions since the Ryan fight. Even during this weigh-in or face-off, he just didn't seem himself. When he was all in Brian Norman's face with the antics, trying to get a reaction from him. Just not typical Devin Haney move. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, I mean, a lot of people just were waiting for this knockout to happen, which never came. Devin Haney showed exactly why there are levels to this sport, and I mean, simply dominated Norman Jr. When you can basically take someone's best weapon or best asset and nullify it, you take them out of the fight. You have to adapt, and it didn't seem like Brian Norman Jr. had any answers after getting dropped early. Obviously, Devin had something that he had studied. He found that opening, wobbled, and then dropped Brian Norman Jr. in the second round. After that, it was just the coast. He ends up winning by unanimous decision scores of 114, 113, which was the closest score. He had another card at 117, 110, and then last 116, 111. That win makes Devin Haney a 3-division world champ, man. So that's big news for him. Looking forward to see what the young gun got, man. You know, he's definitely proved a lot of those critics wrong with this win, and did his thing. Again, he knocked Norman down in round 2 early. Then he used that jab and movement to control the rest of the fight. Brian Norman takes his first loss. In this fight, he looked like the smaller man. It was nuts seeing it. I didn't think that he would be the smaller guy, but Devin was really the weight bully in this fight. He looked a lot bigger, a lot more solid. And yeah, I mean, Brian Norman is going to have to go back to the drawing board and see what's next for the young gun. The man has nothing to hold his head down against. I mean, he's fighting a guy who was undisputed, who's now a 3-division champ. So, I definitely look forward to Brian Norman Jr. Maybe he can get that rematch in the near future. But right now, definitely back to the drawing board. Also on this card was Jesse Bam Rodriguez versus Fernando Puma Martinez. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, honestly, one of my favorite fighters to watch. Very scrappy, high IQ, comes to fight. I definitely had him as the favorite. I think the majority of boxing fans also had him as a favorite. But Fernando Puma Martinez came to fight. He wasn't a pushover. He came in, I believe, undefeated as well, and made it a pretty long night for Jesse Bam Rodriguez. It took him a while to figure him out, but he ultimately, figured out Martinez and comes out with the knockout in the 10th round. Now, with that, Bam claims the WBA super flyweight title, and he's adding that to his WBC and WBO ring magazine also. So, I mean, this guy's collecting belts. And you already know what to expect from Jesse Bam Rodriguez. Throughout the night, his footwork, accuracy, body work was just on full display. Wore Martinez down and got him out of there in 10. Great win for Jesse. Look forward to that big fight from him. I mean, he's just waiting for that big fight. He needs that big dance partner, someone like an Inoue in the near future that can really make him that global star that I believe he can be. But again, good win from Jesse. Also on this card, what a scrap. We had Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes. They were fighting for the vacant WBO lightweight title. Now, a lot of people knew about Mason, young gun, very technical, crafty, sharp fighter. A lot of people did not know about Sam Noakes, including myself, I'll be honest. All I know was I caught a couple spars. I also caught a video with Shakur Stevenson praising him and his power, which is a lot coming from Shakur. So I was really interested to see what this fight was going to be. And wow, it ended up being easily the fight of the night. Beautiful fight from both individuals. Abdullah Mason ends up taking the scrap by unanimous decision after 12 rounds. He ends up being the youngest the youngest title holder in boxing. So huge work. Again, just 21 years old, man. The youngin showed poise, tactical skill. Throughout the fight, he controlled distance, worked the body, handled the pressure from Noakes. I want to touch on that fight a little bit more in the end, but also on this card was Vito Mielnicki Jr. versus Samuel Nomoa. Now, Vito Mielnicki Jr. comes from boxing royalty, a lot of height, East Coast kid, Italian American. I believe he's from Jersey, hot spot for boxing. Samuel Nomoa, didn't know too much from this guy. I know he's from Italy, also undefeated, but actually Vito's not undefeated. He actually did take a loss early in his career, and the Nomoa kid undefeated, though he didn't fight out of Italy. So this was his real first challenge. Now, Vito Milnicki Jr. came out and executed a beautiful plan, fought behind that jab, and ultimately wins this fight with ease, winning by TKO in the ninth round. Now, he rocked Namoa late in the fight and landed a combination that caused the referee to stop it just after the ninth round began. So, I mean, took him a couple rounds, but he got him out of there. And I'm definitely looking forward to Vito Milnicki Jr. in the future. He has a lot of hype, man. I think he's still needing that one breakout performance. I think tonight did answer a lot of questions, though. But yeah, I'm looking forward to him. Samuel Namoa, I'm not too sure where he goes from here. Takes his first L. He definitely, with this, should go back to the drawing board. Maybe get a couple fights to get that, you know, that not motivation, but you get that momentum going. And now you have a name. At least people know who you are. Start winning some fights, and I'm sure he can definitely do something with a young career. So definitely great night of fights, man. But again, going back to that last fight that I was just talking about, the Abdullah Mason and Noakes fight, really stood out, man. What a fight! Whew. The fight between Abdullah Mason and Sam Noakes was a thrilling crash. Between the fight between these two guys, man. I mean, I if you could just summarize it in one word, it'd be wow. You know, two undefeated rising stars in the boxing world. A lot of hype, and it lived up to it. The bout was basically just a showcase of your classic contrasting styles. Like you had brawling versus boxing, both unbeaten records, both coming in to win. And man, did they bring the house down. Abdullah Mason, obviously, if you don't know, he's a slick, fast, technically gifted fighter. He entered the ring with an unblemished record and a reputation for his sharp counterpunching and high boxing IQ. He had steadily been building his profile with dominant performances leading to this fight. This was a chance for him to get seen on a bigger stage and really have that showcase or that show stopping performance. Um, Now it wasn't a dominating performance, but he definitely won some fans over, and also with the fact that he is now the youngest champion in boxing. I mean, he has a bright future. But that's taking nothing away from Sam Noakes, man. This kid I didn't know too much about, but man, he came in. He was powerful, aggressive, had that brawler style. Apparently he's known for this style. He's relentless, brings the pressure, and he was coming to knock Abdullah out. He also came into this fight with a perfect record, no pushover, man. This guy had raw power and just a crazy ability to walk down Abdullah. Like Abdullah had no choice but to, mix it up with him. At the end of the fight, when Abdullah was speaking on it, he said, he could have made it an easier fight for himself, that he fought Noakes' fight, but I don't think he had a choice. Like Noakes was doing his thing, man. He was definitely putting the pressure on him, and Abdullah had to buckle down and really had to fight, man. He had himself a lot to deal with, man. Mason, now I'm not gonna hold you. I mean, he's superior in all aspects. Footwork, he has better reflexes, and for the most part, he controlled the tempo of the fight. He was frustrating Noakes with his speed and clean counters. However, Noakes wasn't going to back down. Like he charged forward, had that heavy-handed approach. He was trying to knock Abdullah's head off, man. And he did catch him a few times. The fight was an intense back and forth, with Mason using his jab and head movement to stay out of trouble. Noakes just kept pushing that pace, and all night he was attempting to land that knockout blow. He just couldn't land it. As far as the crowd, man, and just everybody watching, we all just were in for a treat. I mean, what a fight that was. Edge of your seat type fight, man. And ultimately, Mason's composure and boxing ability shine through. He ends up winning the fight. But Noakes, definitely won a lot of fans, man. I mean, with that relentless style, just keeping that pressure, and just showing signs of being able to turn the tide with one big shot. He was not too far from winning this fight himself. But as the fight wore on, it became clear that Mason's speed and technique were the difference makers. The bout reached its climax in the later rounds when Mason's precision and agility began to overwhelm Noakes. The fight ultimately ended with a decision in favor of Mason, who maintained his undefeated record and solidified his place as one of the young top talents in the sport. Again, this was a battle of just your classic contrasting styles, boxer, brawler. It showcased not only Mason's skills, but Noakes' toughness and resilience. It was a fan friendly fight and really just shined a light on both of these fighters' future. I can't wait to see more from both of these young guys. Sam Noakes definitely won a fan in me. But man, what a night of fights, man. I want to make sure to get more into these recaps. So if anything, let me know if you guys enjoyed this particular recap. Make sure to drop a like, follow your boy, drop a sub. And if you guys are feeling it, I'll drop more, man. But till then, Ali Cubano signing out. Peace.